Your team pushes a release to production. It looked perfect in staging. The preview worked. The test passed. Then production goes live and something breaks. A layout shifts. A feature does not load. An ad blocks content. A permission fails. The team scrambles. Someone says the word everyone dreads. It worked on staging. This is not bad luck. It is environment drift. Today I'm walking through why staging and production fall out of sync and how to close that gap. The answer is not perfect parity. It is knowing where the gaps are and testing for it. Let's break it down. Staging environments are supposed to give you confidence. You test a change, it looks good, you release it to production, then it breaks. A feature that worked perfectly in preview fails the moment real users see it. A layout looks clean in staging, but shifts on the live site. A form submits correctly in testing, but errors in production. This creates 3 breakdowns across the 3E framework. Audience experience suffers because broken releases reach customers. Users encounter errors that should have been caught. Trust erodes. Creator experience suffers because preview becomes unreliable. Content teams stop trusting staging. They publish changes without confidence, hoping for the best. Developer experience suffers because firefighting becomes routine. Instead of moving forward, developers spend time debugging why production behaves differently than preview. The phrase, "it worked on staging," becomes a running joke, but the cost is real. Staging and production drift happens because environments are not identical. This is not always avoidable. Production has real user data, real traffic patterns, real third-party integrations. But drift happens for predictable reasons, data differences. Staging has sanitized test data. Production has real customer data with edge cases you never consider. Configuration differences. Environment variables, feature flags, and API keys differ between staging and production. A setting that works in one breaks in the other. Caching behaves differently. Staging might skip cache layer that production relies on, or production has CDN rules that staging does not replicate. Permissions and integrations. Third-party APIs, payment processors, and ad networks often have separate staging and production configs. A feature might work in preview but fail when real data flows through it. Ad and tracking scripts. These behave differently in staging. They slow pages in production. They break layouts. They cause race conditions. The result is predictable. Teams lose trust in staging. It worked on staging becomes a joke instead of a safeguard. The fix is identifying your top parity gaps, creating a parity checklist, and adding a release verification step. Step 1. Identify your top parity gaps. Start by reviewing your last 10 production incidents. How many were caused by environment differences? What broke in production that worked in staging? Common culprits include data differences. Staging as test content. Production as real customer data at scale. Configuration drift. Environment variables, API keys, or feature flags differ between environments. Caching behavior. Production uses aggressive caching. Staging does not. Third-party integration. Payment processors, analytics, and ad network behave differently or do not exist in staging. Permissions and access. Staging lets everyone see everything. Production has real user roles and restrictions. Audit your last 10 production incidents. How many happened because staging and production behave differently? The list becomes your parity roadmap. Step 2. Create a parity checklist. Once you have your top gaps, document them in a release checklist. This is not a 50-item audit. This is a focus list of the things that break most often. Your checklist might include verify caching behavior matches production, test with production-like data volumes, validate third-party integrations like ads, analytics, or APIs, confirm permissions match across environments, check SSL and redirect rules, test mobile and desktop separately. The goal is not perfection. It is reducing the most common failure modes. Make this checklist part of every release. No deployment happens without running through it. Step 3. Add a release verification step. After deploying to production, verify that critical path still works, also known as regression testing. This is not the same as QA testing in staging. This is final check in the live environment. Create a short verification checklist. Can user complete purchase? Do forms submit correctly? Are images and assets loading? Is tracking firing properly? Do authenticated pages work as expected? These takes 10 minutes. It catches issues before users do. Make this step mandatory. No release is complete until verification passes. You'll know the system is working when you see two things. Post-release incidents decrease. Fewer surprises, fewer hotfixes, fewer apologies to stakeholders. Rollbacks decrease. Your team deploys with confidence because the gap between staging and production has closed. Creators trust preview environments. Developers stop firefighting. Releases become predictable. The system supports stability instead of creating surprises. Once your environment's aligned, the next challenge is making releases predictable and safe. Most teams avoid Friday deployments because releases feel risky. Weekend incidents becomes part of the culture. The fear is a signal. It means your release process needs structure. I'll cover how to build a release process that prevents Friday panics in the next episode. Staging environments should give you confidence, not false comfort. Identify parity gaps, create a checklist, add verification steps before every release. It aligns audience, creator, and developer experience by reducing incidents and building trust in the process. If it worked on staging is a phase you hear too often, start here. If you like the content, like and subscribe.